Hey, so before I get into any of this, I want to preface this entire video by saying this doesn't come from a place of malice. This doesn't come from me trying to knock you down, trying to put dirt on your name, nothing like that. This comes from a place that's constructive. This comes from somebody who is a fan of yours, who is inspired by you, who looks up to you in some regard. But as somebody who's been invested in you for a very long time, there's a lot of stuff that I'm noticing, especially over the last few months, that I want to bring to your attention, that I want to acknowledge. Let's start from the beginning. So I was introduced to Remington James about a year ago, about the same time as Greg Doucette. When I first started the Anabolic diet, I was watching some Greg videos, and eventually Remington James got recommended to me, and I started watching a lot of his videos. And I like the recipes. They helped me lose weight. They helped me reach my goal. But what really got me into Remington was his personality. All the anecdotes that he threw in there, all the little jokes, the jabs. He had a really great camera presence. He had a good personality, and YouTube seemed like a job that was perfect for him, right? I was a fan after like 2 or 3 videos, and I made the recipes as well, but I just thought he was a funny dude. I love a lot of the recipes that you put out. I made a lot of them, and as a small channel, I reviewed a bunch of them. Why? Because A, they look delicious, B, I wanted to try new things, and C, clout. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted your name in my title because I wanted to get my numbers up a little bit. That's just the YouTube game. I'm not above saying that. If you have 5 subscribers and you're posting videos saying bench press workout, leg day workout, shoulder workout, you're not gonna get any views and you're not gonna grow. You need people to see the title, be engaged, and click on it, as well as a good thumbnail. They'll click on your video and then your channel starts to pick up a little bit of steam, and then you can really start doing your own thing. That's how it works. I got no problem saying that because everyone you've ever watched on YouTube has probably done it or currently does it. Whatever. I remember one thing that really stood out to me at first is you weren't just putting out these recipes. You were putting out these recipes at light speed. I'm talking like 2 or 3 recipes a week. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, like, how does he do this? Where does he come up with this stuff? Oreo cheesecake? That's a thing? I mean, I don't have a cheesecake factory around me, so maybe that's like super popular, but whatever. It looked amazing, especially for someone trying to lose weight. But I saw the output. 2, 3, 4 recipes a week. I'm like, this dude is grinding. This is insane. So about the time I discovered you and Greg is when I started my YouTube channel initially. And it was all around diet, fitness, self-help, vlogs. I wanted a platform to call my own, right? I wanted to be able to document my weight loss. I wanted to be able to talk about new things I learned in fitness. I wanted to be able to talk about the recipes that have helped me and changed my life so much. I wanted to talk about whatever I wanted, and being that it was my channel, I made the rules. I could post whatever I wanted, and it felt so freeing, and I just had fun with it. I was the most myself when I was on camera. And I'm not saying that I'm fake. Like, I'll always be myself around people. But when I'm on camera, it's like I'm in charge, right? No one's responding to me. No one's telling me no. I was able to do whatever I wanted. And I saw so much of that in your content. You didn't give a shit. And it was awesome. It was refreshing, right? So in the very infancy of my channel, I started reviewing recipes, some of which came from you. I had fun with it. I was able to give my thoughts, speak my mind, and you actually commented on one of them when I had less than 100 subscribers, and I remember that's all I could think about all day. I was like, oh my gosh, Remington saw my video. Like, dude, I was really looking up to you. I admired what you were doing. This was so new to me, but it was a whole new world. Eating whatever we wanted, getting in great shape, and just having fun with it. Dieting wasn't dieting anymore. It was just a lifestyle, and we were loving it. But as I mentioned earlier, I was introduced to you as soon as you made this anabolic change on your channel. So being that I started my channel, I started to learn a little bit of the business aspect. I started to learn a little bit of how to make your titles look a certain way to get more clicks, or how to make a more appealing thumbnail, or what topics get more views than other topics. Even if you're more invested in these ones, you know this will perform better, so just do this one, right? All you were pushing out were these freaking recipes and the occasional full day of eating or like protein bar review or something. And the content you were putting out actually played a big role as to how my channel is shaped nowadays, to be honest. So as someone who just started building their channel, I started doing a ton of research on YouTube, on forums, trying to figure out how to optimize SEO, how to get the most views on your videos, how to get the most impressions, clicks, whatever. I wanted to grow as fast as possible. Being that I was on that grind, I was looking around at other creators who were way bigger or way smaller, and I saw them doing the same. I was like, wow, I never realized what a game this was, right? And I'm not saying people are being fake or they're just pushing stuff they don't care about, but they know how to deliver the things that they care about in a way that'll allow them to grow, because at the end of the day, the goal is growth. We want to get bigger. We want to be able to make money, make this a sustainable living. Ball out. It's like we're building our own business or our own company and we're the CEOs. It's freaking cool. So as someone who's invested in you, And as someone who's trying to build their YouTube channel, I am noticing things that a lot of people may not pick up on. And the things that I'm about to talk about are the reason that I'm making this video to begin with. As a creator, as somebody trying to grow, I noticed one very particular struggle that has haunted me since 0 subscribers. And that is running out of video ideas. Uploading a video and then realizing, oh crap, in the next 2 or 3 days, I gotta have another video and I don't know what to make. But because I have to make videos, because I have to produce content, I understand the deadlines you kind of set in your head, like, oh crap, it's been like 2 or 3 days, I need another video. And you've been great at doing that. I don't think you've gone like 3 or 4 days without an upload in the last year, at least as far as I'm aware. But this is where I start to notice a few problems. This is strictly constructive. This is strictly coming from a perspective of somebody who's a fan of yours, who has indulged in your content and became invested in you as a creator. Because you rebranded as an Anabolic recipe channel and because you were putting out so many videos a week, you kind of had to meet those deadlines. So every week it's like 3-4 recipes or something like that. And over a span of time, you start to recycle a couple ideas. You start to take an old video and make it a new video. And that's fine, but because you're trying to meet your upload schedule and because you have to make so many recipes each week, they start to lose that initial appeal that got me invested in the recipes initially. They become really repetitive. They become recycled. They become, deja vu. I've seen this recipe 3 months ago. The only difference is he added chocolate chips or something. Like, yeah, you're allowed to do that, but it's becoming more blatant and it just feels like less effort is being put into your content. And I can't entirely blame you for that. When you see a certain type of video perform well, you want to keep making that video because your numbers are going up fast. But the way I see it is the rate at which you're moving and producing and putting these recipes out, I feel like there's going to be a harsh expiration date eventually where you're going to hit a roadblock. You're going to start to see those numbers go down over time because the quality of the recipes is slowly declining. And more people are starting to pick up on that. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're not unique anymore. They're not what made these recipes special. There wasn't 20, 30, 40 trials put into them. I mean, every so often you're going to drop the occasional banger. Like, dude, the fried chicken? Now we eat. Cheers. Yeah, that's a staple, I promise. But it seems like so many of your recipes are like egg whites, final boss, 20% off, and, xanthan gum. And it's just, that's fine, but they're the same recipes most of the time. And I wish there was more variety, more creativity, more time put into each of these. So I was thinking this for a really long time, but there were 2 videos in particular that really made me inspired to make this video. One of them was the M&M cookie, because you put that recipe out, you immediately deleted it because a lot of people were not fond of it, and then you re-uploaded it again. And to be honest, the recipe itself was okay. I don't know if it was video worthy, but it was okay. And then another video you put out was the birthday cake blizzard with Fruity Pebbles and Final Boss 20% off cinnamon swirl protein. That's not birthday cake. So here's my problem. One video displays a lack of trials, a lack of effort, a lack of passion put into these recipes. Like you're just trying to hit that quota and cash in on the ad revenue and be able to talk about your cookbook to sell them, which I get. From an entrepreneurial perspective. I didn't even realize I said that. My bad. I totally get that. I'm not telling you how to run your business, but I'm saying as someone who consumes your content, it's kind of obvious. This video, I got a problem with it because it's so misleading. That's not a birthday cake. It's not. I'm sorry. It's a Fruity Pebble blizzard with cinnamon protein and a lot of xanthan gum. That's all it is. And on top of that, you got a bunch of blizzards and milkshakes and stuff that are essentially the same formula with a different extract or a different protein. In my opinion, when you operate that way, it decreases the value of your cookbook. And the reason I say that is because so many of the recipes aren't very unique. It's one recipe done 9 different ways. And a lot of people are going to buy the cookbook to support you or because they're fans, but to the general consumer who might have just stumbled across your channel, I don't think they would want to buy the cookbook for that amount of money because a lot of the recipes aren't extremely unique. And for the little guys like us who also make recipes and review your recipes, when we review a recipe like that, are we supposed to base it on taste or accuracy? Because if we're ranking that recipe on taste, it might fare pretty well. But if we're trying to rank that recipe on accuracy, we're going to say, no, it's terrible. It's not at all a birthday cake.
Come on, dude, really? This is called Birthday Cake Blizzard. It tastes zero like a birthday cake. I don't rate it as a birthday cake. But no, it's not a bad cream. It's just not birthday cake. So it shouldn't have been called birthday cake.
There's definitely a distinct cinnamon taste in here though. And it tastes like Fruity Pebbles, which isn't surprising because there's Fruity Pebbles in there. This is still very good. It just doesn't taste like birthday cake. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles and cinnamon.
You want people to be able to click on your video and know what they're going to get into, not click on your video and then boom, Uno reverse card. It's not a birthday cake. It's just as time goes on, because you're under so much pressure to make these recipes, that you're not allowing yourself the time to really give them that creative edge, that distinguishability that makes them a Remington James recipe. I like the simplicity approach. I like that anyone could put these recipes together in about 5 minutes, and that's very convenient. But it just feels like you don't care about the recipes you're putting out that much. And that's an assumption, and I don't want to say that's fact, but just from somebody who consumes your content, it feels like you're just, throwing these out there and watching the views pour in, and that's fine. But it just feels like the recipes that you're putting out maybe get like 1, 2, maybe 3 trials before you make a video about it. Like, you called it a birthday cake blizzard because a birthday cake blizzard would get more clicks than a Fruity Pebble blizzard. You wanted more views, but the people that clicked on that video expecting a birthday cake blizzard didn't get a birthday cake blizzard. In the video, you even mentioned that this shouldn't be called a birthday cake blizzard.
And to be honest, birthday cake might not even be the right word for this. It literally just tastes like Fruity Pebble ice cream.
Then call it Fruity Pebble ice cream. Don't call it a birthday cake blizzard. It might fare a little better in the algorithm, but your 600,000+ subscribers are going to click on that video expecting one thing, and they're going to get another. And that's becoming a little apparent in the comment section. I know you're busy, so I don't think you're reading all the comments. I get it, but a lot of people are noticing that there's a little bit of a lack of effort being put into that. And another thing that I'm noticing, which is less prevalent, but it's still there, I gotta beat a dead horse. I really gotta do this, okay? Because I want to drive my point home. I'm also noticing some inspiration in your recipes being pulled from other creators. One in particular I would say is exercise for cheat meals. I'm gonna talk about the cookie dough. I'm sorry, I'm doing it. Shut up. Now, I know you made cookie dough recipes in years past, but you didn't touch it for years. All of a sudden, another creator in the same niche has a video that performs extremely well for having about 5,000-6,000 subscribers, I think at the time. And I think you saw that and you were probably like, man, if he did that with that amount of subscribers, imagine if I put out a cookie dough with my amount of subscribers. I'm not at all saying you copied the recipe because the ingredients are totally different. They're totally different cookie doughs. But the point is, I think you made that recipe as a result of Nick's video doing well. And I really believe that if you pull inspiration from somebody's video, you should really give them a little bit of credit. You really should. Because yeah, you didn't steal the recipe, but that's not a video that would have existed if it weren't for that person. Out of all the Anabolic creators besides Greg Doucette, you are the biggest one. But a bunch of us smaller guys, we're making our recipes, we're doing our best to get our numbers up. But if there is one factor that remains constant amongst all of us, is we give credit where we feel it's due. If we pull inspiration from a certain creator, we'll give them a shout out. Because we're aware we wouldn't have gotten this recipe right, or we wouldn't have made this video if it weren't for this person. So I'm not gonna make that video and just pretend that's all me. No, it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for the key to fat loss, for example, right? One of the most popular recipes on my channel is the Anabolic apple pie. Remington, here's an example of how I pull inspiration from you in that video. Now, if my memory serves me right, I got this from Remington James, so if I'm correct, credits go to Remington James. He gave me the idea or the inspiration to make a crust the way I am right now. More recipes that are popular of mine are the puffs. Here's an example of how I pull inspiration from another creator.
You know what? Shout out to Greg Doucette for blending bread in that one video, because I never would have done this if he didn't do that. This recipe is going to require you to blend a lot of bread. I watched a video on YouTube, Anabolic Blueberry Pancakes by Greg Doucette, obviously, and he put his bread in the blender. And I just felt inspired. Shout out to Greg Doucette for making this possible to begin with, because the man is the reason these puffs exist.
Now, here's an example of other creators pulling inspiration from my recipes.
For 30 seconds before you pour it on. Shout out to Ethan Harold on YouTube for this trick I'm about to try.
Why am I wearing a cutoff shirt? Well, this video is all about puffs, and I'm trying to look like Ethan or pay homage to Ethan Harold, the creator of
all the Puffs recipes, and oftentimes he is seen with a cut-off shirt. Making my first Anabolic recipe, which is going to be a savory version of the Puffs recipe.
We're just having a bit of small talk on Instagram's DM messages regarding Ethan Harold's Puffs. We both love them. We were talking about which one is our favorite, which one is our least favorite, but soon enough, something happened. Something made us spark. Heights had this awesome idea that it would be great if we could make the puffs without blending bread and without using a blender.
Each and every one of us, when we do something in our videos that is a result of somebody else's work, we mention their name because it only takes a few seconds. We know we wouldn't have done it without them. I would have liked to see you shout out Nick in that video because I really don't think you would have made that video if it weren't for him. All of these creators, whether they're bigger than me or smaller than me, it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, if we see someone do something and we pull inspiration or do something as a result of their action, we give them credit for it because we wouldn't have done that otherwise. For example, I've been working on a Swiss roll recipe for over 3 months. I have put over 60 attempts into it. So if I finally get that recipe right and I finally drop a video and then I see a week later somebody drops a Swiss roll recipe and they don't mention my name, I would be pretty upset because that feels like they're plagiarizing my work. These recipes take time, they take money, they take energy, they take effort. I've pulled all-nighters back to back. I have spent over $200 on a recipe before. I know the grind. So like if Nick dropped the cookie dough recipe and then I dropped one a few days later, I see nothing wrong with that. But I would start the video with, hey guys, I was inspired to make this recipe by Exercise for Cheat Meals because he dropped an amazing cookie dough. I'm a big fan of it. I want to do my own take on it. Before we get started, go check out his channel, give him a little bit of love. But anyways, guys, let's get into this. That's easy. That doesn't take any effort, and it doesn't make you look bad. It makes you look strong. It makes you look humble. It makes you look like somebody who encourages growth of other creators. When you avoid doing that, when you kind of just put your head down, it's a bad look. It makes you look like you're not looking out for these other guys who are inspired by you, who have spent thousands of dollars on cameras, microphones, all sorts of equipment to get their YouTube channel rolling, and they invest so much of themselves into it. So when you respond that way and you don't really acknowledge the situation, even if it's not true, if you don't think it's true, say it's not true. Don't not answer Nick. Don't ignore Nick. Acknowledge the situation. I think that's a way better look, especially as somebody who holds such a high status in not only the anabolic community, but the entire fitness community. If you pull inspiration from somebody, give them a little bit of love. I'm not saying everyone hates you for it. I'm just saying that a lot of people notice it. And I think it was kind of crappy that you didn't give Nick a little bit of a shout out in your video because I really don't believe you would have made that video if it weren't for him performing well with his video. Another problem that I have, and honestly, this one just pisses me off a little bit. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but the truth is, you made a video where you reacted to people reviewing your recipes. I'm not mad at the swoosh clickbait. I get it. You want to get more clicks, whatever. But the last person to review one of your recipes in that video was James Edwards. At the time, James had less than 1,000 subscribers. He was probably averaging like 700-800 views a video. He was in the infancy of his YouTube career. You decided to react to one of his reviews. And I'm not going to lie, the way you handled it was really shitty. It was just shitty. You're a figurehead that people look up to. You are somebody that's an influence on a lot of young creators. And not only that, you're just an influence on people in general. When they look at you and they see the hostility, when somebody takes a minor misstep, if somebody reviews your recipe and they don't use all the exact ingredients, you don't need to freaking suplex them, especially when they're under 1,000 subscribers and they're just getting their bearings on YouTube. He's gonna make a few missteps. He's gonna screw up every so often. Not everyone starts YouTube knowing every rule and every this and that. Like, he's gonna learn, but you gotta handle it more maturely. You absolutely shamed him. You shamed him and you made it so personal. This is a guy that looked up to you. This is a guy that put hours, days, weeks into editing to try making his own recipes, to review your recipes and give you 99% good feedback. It felt like such an unnecessary power trip. It felt like a way for you to kind of put your foot down and claim yourself the head honcho of the anabolic community. Okay, this guy just started. Be a leader. Be a leader and give him some constructive criticism and help him grow. Maybe that's not as engaging to watch on YouTube. Maybe that doesn't give you the best clickbait. That's just not how you do it. Like, you did everything you possibly could to make this guy look bad. He was at like 700 subscribers, dude. He was barely established. He just started. It's just tough for somebody who's really invested in you, who respects you a lot, to see you do that kind of stuff. It makes it really tough to honestly take you really seriously. It looks so bad because that's never what you did. You were never that person. You never lashed out on somebody, especially for such a small mistake. Whatever. If he copied some of your B-roll, tell him he did. Hey man, you're copying this. You're not being super authentic. Be more yourself. You're new here. You'll get it one day. Seeing someone act that way, especially to somebody who's just trying to find their footing, it's really off-putting from any perspective. As a creator's perspective, from just an average consumer's perspective, it just felt so insecure. But don't go out of your way to absolutely decimate this guy who clearly looks up to you. I understand the frustration when it's somebody who's kind of using your name for clout, but at the end of the day, there's more productive, there's more constructive, there's just better, more mature ways to handle the situation. There really is. See, the way I look at it is we've built this community of people, right? A community of people that just want to see each other get better. They're not afraid to give a little bit of constructive criticism. They build each other up, they give each other suggestions, they network, they talk, and everybody's got each other's back. I understand you're super busy, so we're not expecting you to like spam and comment all of our videos. Obviously, a big reason this community exists is because of stuff that you did. So as somebody who's been an inspiration for everybody, it just sucks to see that that's how you responded when something didn't really go your way. Not to mention, you delete comments and block people as opposed to just having conversations, or at least giving them the time of day to write a little response and maybe clear up some air. Like, all the creators in this community are so hardworking. We don't have a lot of subscribers. We don't have a big following. So we're not making enough money to do this for a living. We can't hire editors. This is an all day, all night grind. So when that person you look up to becomes a little too good for the shout out, treat a smaller creator who looks up to them very poorly like that. Start to put out lower quality recipes and honestly look like you care less and less as time goes on. Like, the effort's not really there anymore. The passion's not really there anymore. It's like you're doing it just to get that ad revenue. I get the entrepreneurial aspect. I am not opposed to that. And like I said, I'm not telling you how to run your business. But just as someone who's a fan, just as a fellow creator, just as somebody who has been invested in your content for a long time, this is the reason I'm making this video. And this is what I want to communicate to you. So much of this has happened because of you. And there won't be a day in my life where I don't live by that, because that is true. You've made such a big impact on me. You've helped me grow so much. You've helped me learn so much. You're really entertaining to watch. But as the months drew on, I lost interest in a lot of your recipes. I watched the videos still, but I watched it because I just enjoyed what you had to say. I enjoyed your sense of humor. You were engaging. You were just so much fun to watch. Over the last few months, I thought about it, so I watched a lot of your older content. I watched a lot of the vlog style videos you did with the drone and the fitness and all that other stuff. It just seemed like there was so much more personality, so much more passion, so much more effort, so much more creativity, so much more want. It seemed like you really wanted to do it. Now it feels like you're making these recipes out of obligation. It feels like you're just trying to meet this quota because you put yourself in a box. My channel is now recipes. I got to keep making these recipes, and I think it's just becoming really stale. I know I didn't know about you prior to them, but going back to your older content, that just seems so much more true to you. I'm not saying stop recipes. I am not saying don't make recipes anymore. That is not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think the direction that your channel has gone in the last year has kind of limited you in terms of your creative ability and your desire to push boundaries. The videos I enjoy the most by you nowadays are the ones where you're sitting at the table by your stairs. I wonder what the layout of that room looks like. I'm curious as to why there's a table right next to the staircase. But either way, I just find your camera presence and your sense of humor to be the thing that keeps me coming back to your videos. I feel like you're just treating it so much more like a job as opposed to something you're having fun with, being inspiring with, being creative with. I just feel like that element's kind of gone. And that results in you having to pull inspiration from other people. That results in you having to kind of assert yourself in some instances that might not be appropriate. And I think a huge part of your audience may love the recipes. I'm not trying to speak for anybody here but myself. But I also think a huge part of your audience would really appreciate if you geared your videos more towards you. I would just love to see Remington James vlog. I would love to see more day in the lives. I would love to see Remington James, do fitness. It's RJF, Remington James Fitness, not RGC, Remington James Cooking. Even as somebody who knows you from the recipes, I feel like your content peaked when you were just being yourself. You were going out, you're having fun. That motivates me more than anything. I mean, your grind right now, you got this crazy, incredible hustle. Like, you're second to Greg in terms of video output, and it's freaking impressive. But you're definitely taking the quantity route over the quality route. And as somebody who's a big fan of you for a lot of reasons, it sucks that you're being boxed into this one niche. I would love to see you branch out more. I'd love to see you sit down and have more discussions. Like when you were in the Modcast with James and Sush, you gained so much respect from me because I learned a lot about you. I guess it's just, to me, I want to see content that looks like some passion and effort was put into it. And lately, I just feel like we're not getting that out of you. That's my opinion. I know you're busy. I know you dropped the protein bar, and I totally get it. You're hustling. Like I said, you are grinding your ass off. I'm not going to take away from that at all, but honestly, the videos that you're putting out now, they might help people because, you know, they're anabolic recipes, but the formula in which you're operating at right now, it just seems so uninspired. It just seems so forced. And as somebody who's invested in you, as somebody who's a fan, it sucks to watch. I love your content, man. I'd love to see you hit 1 million subscribers this year. I think that would be freaking cool. But I think the direction you're going in, I think that the way you rebranded yourself a little bit puts you in a box. I don't think it allows you to be creative. I don't think it allows you to push boundaries like you used to. Because I want to see people grow. I want to see people build. I want to see people get better. That's a huge part of my channel. That's a huge reason why I started my channel, is because I wanted to have fun with it. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to be able to make a living off of what I love. But in the same breath, I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to motivate people. I wanted to help people lose weight. I wanted to help people try something they wouldn't have otherwise. I wanted to be able to try new things. I wanted to be able to push boundaries. I wanted to be able to be creative. I wanted to be able to do a lot of things on this channel. But I don't think you're able to do that anymore considering the position you're in. I know this video kind of feels out of nowhere, I'm sure. This isn't for clout. I'm not doing this for growth. I'm not doing this because I'm hoping Remington will make a video about me. If he watches it and doesn't even comment, that's fine. I just hope he watches this and understands from the perspective of somebody who's a fan of his, who looks up to his work and appreciates a lot of what he's put in. I hope he'll look at this and take something from it. I hope he'll look at this and be receptive. That's my goal here. But don't make every video a recipe video, because then the pressure's on to get 3 or 4 out a week, so obviously quality is going to dip heavily. Make a recipe once every week or two. Give it like 10, 15, 20 trials. Make it a freaking banger. Make it something that people are so excited to click on. Make it like, oh my gosh, the fact that he made that anabolic, what? Like, that's crazy. Now it's just like, yeah, you mix some protein, you mix some eggs, you put in the oven for 5 minutes. Let's do it. Like, I don't know, man. It just feels uninspired. And I don't know, it sucks. Quite honestly, I enjoy a lot of your recipes. It's just, I can tell there was 2 or 3 trials in them, you know? I loved your old videos when I went back there and I freaking binged a bunch of them. I loved when you were opening up about steroid use. I love when you were talking about quitting nicotine. I love when you and Ank were just doing vlogs. I remember I just recently watched a video like a few days ago where you said, hey man, I haven't done a vlog in a while. Let's go hiking. And you went on this freaking trail and you just talked. And it was so engaging because it's your personality. Dude, I can't wrap my head around the amount of support I've gotten on my channel, even at less than 3,000 subscribers. But I find that the comments that mean the most to me, the comments that I just love receiving the most, that motivate me the most, that make me want to just keep working harder, are the ones that say, hey dude, I love your recipes, I love whatever you're doing, but I click on your video because I just love your personality. You are so engaging, you are so genuine, you are so down to earth, you don't lie about things, you don't try to make yourself look good or above anyone else. You're okay with taking some L's, you're okay with looking bad. You have fun. You make it your own. And that's something that I saw in a lot of your older content that I think really made you the Remington James people grew to love. And I would love to see more of that in the future. Take more time on the recipes, build some anticipation, inject some personality, make them fun. Don't clickbait. This is a video that is strictly coming from the perspective of somebody who's a fan. And I want to see the best for you, man. I would love to see you hit 1 million subscribers this year. I think you can do it. I just don't think the formula you're using right now is going to be sustainable long term. I don't think that's what's going to bring in that audience that clicks on the video for you. There's a lot of channels out there. There's a lot of videos that if you were to pull the person out and just plop any average Joe in there, the video would be exactly the same. It would. And I hate seeing that happen to your channel. Nothing but love to all the creators out there who grind every single day. I know how hard you work and I appreciate every second of it. Make it yours. Make it your own. Have fun with it. Don't put yourself in a box. Do what makes you feel inspired while inspiring others. That to me is the way to navigate YouTube. And I'm going to learn as I go. I understand there's a business perspective. I understand there's a lot of perspectives. I'm learning every day, man. I don't even know what content I'm going to be making in a month or two. It could be totally different. But right now, man, I'm just having fun. I know people tune in because they enjoy my personality, and that to me is like the epitome of fulfillment. Knowing that people click on my video because they like what I have to say is everything I can ask for times 100. And I would love to see more of that out of Remington. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is kind of out of nowhere, but I wanted to say it because it was on my mind. Let me know what you think down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I an idiot? You tell me. I appreciate you guys watching. Remington, I hope you pull something from this. I don't care if you make a video. I don't care if you comment. You can do whatever you want. But I just want to communicate this to you, and I put it on YouTube because I want to hear what everyone has to say. And maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just selfish. I don't know. But that's what I did. Here it is. But that's it for me, guys. I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace.